All right. So mine's a pretty simple one. May have been mentioned in the past before, probably not the feature of an episode, but once upon a time, there was a whale on a beach. And then a few days later, there was no longer a whale on that beach. Now, the story in the interim is as follows. There was about a 45-foot long sperm whale that washed ashore on the Oregon coast. And it was looked at and determined to be too heavy to move because the sand was too soft. They couldn't get any kind of like heavy equipment vehicle out there. It would have been extremely difficult. And the problem is when you get a creature of that size, a 45-foot long whale, as it decomposes, it starts to smell really bad really quickly because of the sheer amount of stink that it could possibly produce. So they thought, we'll blow it up with dynamite.
Obviously.
And then it'll be cleared out and the resulting pieces would be small enough for animals to eat. And the circle of life, you know, it's like the Lion King all over again. Well, then comes in a man named George Thornton. Now, George Thornton, if you want to imagine this man, imagine the demo man from TF2, you know, really angry, really drunk, one leg, one eye, and just like dynamite strapped to his body because he was chosen to be the supervisor of how to blow this up because he was an engineer. He was also a military veteran with explosive training. So he thought, it might not be a good idea to use too little because we don't want to accidentally not do this.
Sure.
Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. This guy actually was not the demo man. Oh. He was the lady who's trying to keep all of them in check. Paulson, Paulton, Paulodian, TF2.
What?
Paula.
I don't know.
Miss Pauling.
Okay.
Miss Pauling is Miss Pauling because I misread this. A charge of 1/2 short ton of dynamite was selected, which is 450 kilograms. George Thornton said that might wait. No, sorry, stop, back up. George Thornton is the demo man. Aha! There was a military veteran with explosives training. Miss Pauling was on the scene. George Thornton is the demo man. And the military veteran said that the planned 20 cases of dynamite was far too much. They had 20 cases of dynamite, and he said that instead 20 sticks of dynamite would have sufficed, but his advice went unheeded. For reference, 20 sticks is about 8.5 pounds of dynamite. The planned amount...
20 cases is how much?
The planned amount... Okay, so it's 3.8 kilograms for 20 sticks. They used 450 kilograms of dynamite. On November 12th at 3:45 p.m., the dynamite was detonated, and the explosion was so unbelievably powerful that large pieces of blubber landed near buildings and parking lots like hundreds of feet away from the beach's location. Cars were crushed by the sheer amount of whale that was blasted into the air. And then literally the explosive expert's brand new vehicle purchased during a quote, get a whale of a deal promotion in a nearby city was flattened by a chunk of falling blubber. Ooh. Later that day, Thornton told the Eugene Register Guard, quote, it went just exactly right, except the blast funneled a hole in the sand under the whale, and that some of the whale chunks were subsequently blown back towards the onlookers and their cars. And thus, the story of the whale on the Oregon shore ends with a bang.
I imagine the guy who was given the advice to only use 20 sticks walks up and he's like, well, look who was right. And everyone's like, shut up, Carl.
So I have one question that I don't know if the information is good. Is the whale, when this is all beginning, is the whale dead before they decide they need to explode it? Or is the whale just laying on the beach like, hey,
help, please, God, help me now.
Can you roll me back in? And the people are just like, we got to explode it. We got to get rid of this whale.
And this whale knows English enough to be like, oh, wait a minute, hold on now.
The whale's the old guy from Monty Python. I'm not dead. I'm feeling better. I feel happy.
So presumably it's already dead, but only presumably. Or maybe not only presumably.
Yes. The stench would suggest it was dead.
Or it didn't bathe.
You could be right. I'm no whale hygiene expert,
Why
but
would I need to bathe? I live in the giant bathtub. Terry, there's a difference between getting wet and using soap. You gotta use this soap, man.
who's talking to the whale? Is it another whale?
It's like a sea lion or something. It's like his buddy.